English with deck. There's obviously differences when you live in the countryside and when you live in the city. There are obviously pros, are obviously cons as well. Now, some of the obvious ones might be, living in a city, more convenient, more career opportunities, more housing opportunities to a degree, to name a few. Obviously, some of the cons might be pollution, higher cost of living, la di da di da. The usual stuff. And one thing I think is a big pro about living in the countryside in a country like Japan is that there are so many community events. And yeah, let's call them events. Yeah, community events and community gatherings. Now, it could be very easy to look at these and just say, it's so annoying. I can't be bothered to do it and stuff. And I used to think like that. I did. At first, when I started joining in these events, I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's help out. This is awesome. This is fun. You usually get like a little thing at the end, like some juice, some beers, some food, nothing major, but it's a nice little reward. Reward, like a child. Um, and then after a while, I sort of started to feel a bit less positive about it and think of it more as a chore. However, not long ago, I realized something. It is a chore. It is a bit of an annoyance, having to possibly reschedule something. For example, a lot of these things happen on the weekend. And because that's the stereotype, that is the typical 2 days off for most people. Of course, for me, usually I'm working at least Saturday morning, quite often Saturday afternoon as well. So I do have to reschedule some things occasionally, or maybe just juggle the schedule about. Great phrase. Juggle things about, like juggling balls, the balls which you would chuck in the air and catch in your alternating hands. So you have like two balls, one goes from your right hand to your left hand, and the left hand ball goes from your left hand to your right hand, creating like a triangle. Maybe you have three, so there's two in the air at once. Four, there will be three balls in the air at one time, etc. Anyway, you can juggle your schedule, change your schedule. Now, it is a bit inconvenient doing that, of course, but coming from England, where I didn't really see these kind of community events so much, I actually realized they are very lucky and very special because it really does revitalize the area. It keeps it clean, it helps out, it also ensures that any events are well catered for, are well prepared for, and that not only the children have a great experience, but the adults as well, build a community spirit, etc. And yeah, a good example of this is last weekend at my daughter's nursery. There's a yearly cleaning morning where the parents come and join each other at the school and are divided into teams, and each team is allocated a specific area of the school to clean. Now, last year I was just repainting some of the play equipment. This year, I was cleaning out some of the exhaust vents from the outside and then on the inside. This year was a bit more dusty, but that's fine, of course. But it's a great experience. And then the kids go to school on Monday, and then they are like, "Hey, my dad did this, my mummy did that," and it's a bit of pride, And also for the parents doing it, it's just fun, It's a little bit, but it's fun at the end of the day for most people, I think. But it's not just these events at the school. You do a lot of events in the neighbourhood. I live near the beach, so there are beach cleaning events. There are uh, clean events where you sort of help out and clean the roadside and stuff. Maybe de-weed, de-litter, and that's just a few. There are many, many, many of them. And you don't really get these to the same degree living in the city areas. And that is something that is special, in my opinion. Yeah. And this even goes as far as there are, as I found out yesterday, there are neighborhood children's events. Basically, I don't know if I've worded that right at all. Children's neighborhood events. Neighborhood children events. Neighborhood kids events. Hmm. It's kind of like a neighborhood association, but the neighborhood kids have their own group. Yeah, not like a gang. No, no, no. It's organized by the parents. Basically, for example, the area I live in, when your kids hit, well, in the American English word version, we would say elementary school, but thinking of it from the British English system, it would be around primary school. Yeah, primary. Let's call it primary. First year primary. When they hit that age, they maybe second year primary. Sorry, wait, six. Yeah, second year primary in England. uh, they go to the equivalent of elementary school, and at that point, you pay a yearly fee to your neighbourhood. You don't have to pay it, but it's really negligible. Negligible. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's kind of early here. It's really negligible, meaning that it doesn't cost much at all. And because we pay that little subscription, that's a contribution, it means that throughout the year that my daughter will take part in a few events or activities. But not only that, she will get the opportunity to go on like a day trip with other kids from the neighborhood to the swimming pool, the outdoor pool. Maybe she'll go off further afield. In the winter, they have like a winter trip, I think. I know in the summer they do. And they get like loads of stuff as well included in that. So it's really nice to be able to have these opportunities to sort of help grow as a person. And I think you do keep growing as a kid, not physically, but emotionally, you know? So I think having these opportunities really helps you thrive as a child in the countryside. And also, thrive as an adult as well. Gives you a bit of purpose in the community. And I think that is good. I do. All right, guys. All right, girls. Enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, and see you next time.